In Taiwan, mangroves became protected after 2 of the 6 species were wiped out due to development, but unfortunately the government didn't consider the plant's exuberant reproduction capabilities as it tried to repopulate the plant, which has led to an environmental crisis as indigenous creatures occupying Taiwan's intertidal zone are being chased away by the plant. Here's our report.
On a shore in Hsinchu, the black mangrove seedlings are unaffected by the strong wind coming from the sea. But soon some people arrive and with a swing of a hoe, the seedlings are decapitated. What are they doing?
You can only kill the plant by cutting it down. Otherwise, once it grows up, it will be as big as the forest over there. By then, it will be very difficult to remove the plant.
What? Aren't mangrove forests supposed to be protected?
The buildup of the forests are blocking the water flow. So back in 2010, we had already cleared away 5 hectares worth.
Mangroves thrive in saline coastal sediment habitats. Due to their dense root system, the flow of water carrying sand and debris is slowed down, which leads to sedimentation that will eventually change the original landscape.
This is actually the natural habitat of endemic Taiwan fiddler crabs and has the highest density in all of Taiwan. In a square meter, about 12 crabs can be found.
Though Taiwan fiddler crab is indigenous to the island, the species is very picky about its habitat.
The cycle of the tides is 15 days, so for 5 to 7 days, the crabs will be trapped in the intertidal zone, about 30 to 50 meters from the shore.
As mangroves thrived, bringing about changes to the shores, the crabs and other creatures living here were forced to retreat. Wang Zhenguang is already 75 years old. He grew up right by the beach, and so did 76-year-old Zheng Jingchi. They are here not for the money, but for something more important.
I'm here because I want to help restore things back to the way they were when I was young. Back then, there were plenty of creatures living on the shores of Nanliao and here.
Though they often get sunburned, suffer heat stroke, and get covered in mud, for years they happily take on the work that young people shy away from.
Just one tree can sprout several seedlings. Once they spread out, the whole beach will be infested.
Though 3 to 5 hectares worth of mangroves are removed every year, plus removing seedlings on the beach, the effort seems futile due to the mangrove's exuberant reproduction ability.
We have thought about giving up many times because it is simply too hard. But we don't want to see the fiddler crabs disappear from here, so that's why we persist.
100 years ago, mangrove forests were only found in Taipei, Xianjiaoshi, Tainan, Kaohsiung, and Pingtung. Due to development and habitat destruction, only 4 species out of the original 6 of the plant remains today. Thus, back in the 80s, the government decided to establish 12 conservation areas to bring back the mangroves. Unfortunately, the project set off a chain reaction.
Living beings have their own natural habitat and territory, but such a balance has already been disturbed by humans. One of the main problems of habitat conservation is the invasion of foreign species. For many areas, the mangroves are considered an invasive species because they don't belong to that area. So it's how you look at it.
The Guandu Nature Reserve, meant to protect migratory birds, first saw the invasion of mangroves 2 decades ago, and now the bird population has decreased as a result. The mangroves have sparked the same controversy in Fangyuan and Gaomei.
The problem is not limited to the restoration of the mangroves. To date, we have simply tampered too much with our ecosystem. So I think it's about time for us to reevaluate just what is the meaning and purpose of conservation.
Just what kind of species should be protected and how should they be protected? The answer may be different depending on the area and period. But more planning, research and wisdom are definitely required before we decide to tamper with our environment.